I was a major Beyonce fan as a teenager. She genuinely inspired me to become a feminist. To me, she embodied everything that feminism claimed to stand for: girl power, success, and independence. I looked up to her and I loved her music. As I moved into my late teens, I stopped identifying as a feminist and gradually lost interest in Beyonce as a role model. Throughout my 20s, I've questioned what exactly makes her so iconic. I've heard strong arguments both praising and criticizing her as a feminist figure. In this video, I'm giving my honest take. My name is Zarina Matcha, and you're watching The Rational Female. If you enjoy my content, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. So why is Beyonce considered a feminist icon, particularly within fourth wave feminism? She represents what's often called choice feminism, the idea that feminism simply means women are free to make their own choices. This definition is heavily criticized, even within feminist circles, for being overly simplistic. I don't consider it a sufficient definition at all. Feminism, at least in its academic form, is far more complex than simply women having choices. Writer Jessica Valenti states, "Feminism is a social justice movement with values and goals that benefit women. It's a structural analysis of a world that oppresses women, an ideology based on the notion that patriarchy exists and that it needs to end." That framework goes well beyond individual autonomy. Feminism requires the belief that women are collectively oppressed by systemic structures. Dismantling the so-called patriarchy is a large part of feminist theory. On the surface, Beyonce represents success. She's reached the top of the music industry, built immense wealth, and maintained a long-term marriage and family. She appears to embody the feminist ideal of having it all, coined by feminist Helen Gurley Brown. As a teenager, I wanted to be like Beyonce. I wanted fame, a career, husband, children, the full package. But reality matters. Beyonce was raised in a supportive, stable family with industry connections. She entered the music world young and found early success with Destiny's Child. Later, she collaborated with and married Jay-Z, already a major figure in hip-hop. That partnership undeniably amplified her profile. None of this diminishes her work ethic, but it does add context. She didn't rise from obscurity with no support. She had structure, backing, and opportunity. The most publicly difficult moment in Beyonce's life appears to be her husband's infidelity, which inspired her album Lemonade. When I was 19, I watched the entire album in one sitting. In my view, her earlier work was better. Lemonade is just about her being cheated on, and while some of the songs are fun, I found this rather tiresome. Being cheated on is painful, but it's also common. Many ordinary women and men experience infidelity without global platforms, acclaim, or commercial triumph attached to their healing process. I'm not diminishing her feelings, but I question the scale of the cultural narrative around it. When we talk about oppression, we usually refer to severe structural or personal hardship. Compare Beyonce's life to someone like Rita Hayworth or Frida Kahlo, women who endured documented abuse, trauma, and in Kahlo's case, lifelong physical disability. What exactly does Beyonce need liberation from? She's wealthy, globally celebrated, professionally successful, and personally stable. She has not publicly experienced systemic exclusion, violent abuse, addiction, or severe adversity. Most women cannot relate to her life. This is where I see the disconnect in modern celebrity feminism. When an ultra-wealthy global superstar stands on a stage in front of the word feminist, it feels disconnected from the average woman's reality. Beyonce hasn't exactly had to fight the kind of oppression that feminists tirelessly claim women have had to fight against. Her life has been nowhere near as tough as millions of women's and men's lives. I still enjoy Beyonce's music. I'd happily attend a concert. She's a talented performer. But a role model? A symbol of oppression and liberation? Absolutely not! Years ago, The Amazing Atheist made a fantastic video arguing that Beyonce is overrated as a cultural figure. I think there's a lot of truth in what he says. She is certainly not a perfect woman or a goddess or any other hyperbolic definition. She's a good entertainer. That's enough. Not every successful woman needs to be framed as a revolutionary icon.